You might have heard of this thing called the OODA loop. Colonel Boyd developed it in the 1950s. He was a war ace, a fighter ace during the Korean War. And the OODA loop stands for observe, orient, decide, and act. And it's a process we go through continually in our decision-making processes. We observe something, we orient on it, we decide what we're going to do about it, and then we act. Now, in the context of a fight, this is a concept that you need to take into consideration and use to your advantage. Let me give you a quick example of how you can get inside somebody's OODA loop. And it's part of interrupting somebody's reactionary gap, or reactionary cycle. So put your hands out and put them towards the screen so that they look like your fingertips are even with my fingertips. Now, when I clap my hands, I want you to clap your hands. And see if you can clap your hands at the same time mine are. And you'll notice that you're a little bit behind me. It's because there's a reactionary gap of at least a quarter second where you have to observe my hands moving, orient on that, decide that it's time for you to move your hands, and then to actually act. And that signal needs to, leave the brain and travel down your arms to your hands. So you're always going to be behind me. So if I'm moving first, you're always going to be playing catch up. Let me give you a little bit of an advantage. You keep your hands here, and I'm going to move mine out here. So I have a little bit further distance to travel, so it should take me a little bit longer. Same thing, you keep your hands here, I'll keep mine here, and I'm going to clap. And you'll probably notice that you're pretty much the same speed as me because it takes me about a quarter second to travel that extra distance. So that shows the advantage of time and which creates, the advantage of distance, which creates time. Now let's throw another element into this. I'm going to stay out here. You keep your hands here. I'm going to put mine out here. Now I'd like you to count upwards by threes. So 3, 6, 9, and same thing, when I clap my hands, you clap yours. Alrighty, so ready? 3, 6, 9. And let's count downwards from 50 by twos. So 48, 46, 44, 42, 40, 38. And you should have noticed that once again you're lagging behind. And what's happening there is your OODA loop is getting interrupted by you having to think about what's going on. All right, so you can only do so much. You've heard the phrase pay attention. Well, literally you only have a certain attention budget. There's only so much attention you can pay. And when part of your mind is dealing with something like counting downwards by twos, it's going to interfere with your ability to act. Also realize that I can interrupt your OODA loop. So go ahead and put your hands back out here, and I'll give you that distance advantage. And same thing, at some point in time, I'm going to clap my hands, and so think about, well, let me ask you, what did you have for breakfast this morning? And how was it? Was it any good? So once again, I'm interrupting your OODA loop by asking you questions. You have to think about it, come up with an answer, and then all of a sudden I'm throwing a stimulus in there that you have to respond to. So be aware of it. Don't let yourself get on the bad side of the OODA loop, and use it to your advantage. And you can think of any number of ways where you could use this against the bad guy. It's another Tactical Tuesday tip of the week. Thanks for watching. Be safe out there.